pick comps, they actually demonstrated different styles of play in exactly the same dominant performance. So you can't count them out for anything.
Yeah, and of course that does mean that Twisted Fate's been banned away from Bjergsen, but Kha'Zix's also banned out. And remember Nukeduck, he was a dominant force in that mid lane, as was Zorozero in the top lane. But of course Bjergsen, the fact that NiP have banned Kha'Zix, you know, thinking of Bjergsen and Kha'Zix, they obviously have something planned up their sleeve. Of course there is the beautiful crowd here in sunny... Yeah, I'm glad you did it. I was just I've got to get the pronunciation right on that one.
You were going to butcher it.
I was just going to say sunny Dreamhack.
I thought you were going to help me. Beyond shopping Sweden, of course. The one thing that is still free that does need to be pointed out would be another Ari pick. It is a champion that we're seeing actually a lot of in Europe, more than many of the other regions. Nukeduck played it with great effect in the promotion tournament, along with Kassadin as well. So he likes to play those assassins. In terms of champions that are still free, I mean, Shen would be maybe another possibility, targeting that at Godbro, because Godbro Shen is godly.
Well, Nunu, the final ban, the TheTess arrow. Well, we'll see whether he does have that arrow. Of course, for the arrow, we'd have to have either Varus or Ashe, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see what the first pick is, though. There's a lot of champions available. Which one they go for NiP with that first choice?
Jarvan's free. If they decide to take Malphite away, that could go to Svenskeren in the jungle. They could also go to Godbro in the top lane. My guess is it's Godbro in the top lane because he tends to play the tankier initiation type champions and likes to soak up a lot of damage.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. So far, Malphite is 0 for 1, though. Gambit didn't work out too well for them. Could it be the first Nami? Yes, it will. So Nami being picked as the support, along with Evelyn. Evelyn was insta-locked in that jungle. Dexter was happy with that.
There was no doubt about that at all. And of course, we've seen how prolific and how strong Eve is in the jungle. Diamond Prox is using it to great effect at the All-Star game. It's been picked up and traveled all around the world. Nami, I actually recall watching Shushe play AP Nami in the mid lane a week or two ago. It wasn't particularly successful. It wasn't particularly successful, but Nami is another fringe pick. We've seen her in the NA scene, we've seen her in the Korean scene as well, and I'm a very big fan, especially if it's going to be comboed with Caitlyn. That is a very, very strong, powerful, controlling bottom lane. Because it was banned. Well done. Well done, Trevor. Could be Ezreal then, possibly.
Yeah, and there is going to be Varus possibly getting selected. Zed, of course, will be Bjergsen. Or will it? You could see, of course, Malphite switching into the jungle, but we're expecting it to be Bjergsen in that mid lane on Zed. We saw some amazing Zed play from Dade earlier on today.
Basically, because of the level of ability that Bjergsen has, you expect him to take a champion like Zed, who can make plays, pick off kills, you know, insta-get people, delete them from the map. And we've just seen Bjergsen doing it time and time and time again. It's one of his preferred champs. Well,
maybe Vayne's going to get picked up by Tabzz here. We'll see what he does go with. Of course, his mechanical play is going to be fairly strong because he used to be that mid laner, and mid laner on Fizz, of course, as well, was his famed champion. Shen this time, he was hovered over before by Zorozero. This time it looks like he will get selected. That does, of course, mean it's going to be probably a top laner, but of course, let's not forget, this could be Nukeduck on Evelyn in the mid lane.
It's also a possibility. You know, Eve can go middle. I don't really like the matchup of Eve versus Zed, so I imagine that Lemondogs will be thinking they can counter pick it for the last one, see what these next two picks are. But additionally, I definitely want to touch on Tabzz with Vayne, because his mechanical skill with a champion like Fizz, diving in and out, being melee range, and having that, you know, instant reflexes is just going to play into his favor.
The Swedish man there, Heaton, of course, in the house. The NiP owners sat ready and waiting. Of course, that was the manager of the team as well. Very well known in the Counter-Strike scene. If anyone is new to and don't know really the Counter-Strike scene, it's a very, very popular figure here. Of course, Sona now being hovered over, and that would make sense. It
would make sense. Deficio's played a lot of Sona. I think Lulu might fit the composition better, because you could have, you know, the knock-up, you can have the survivability from the rest of the Ninjas in Pyjamas team. There's, of course, the management guys we're talking about, you know. Now, if you take the Sona, what you end up doing is you're saying, right, we want to lock you down and kill you before you get a chance to do anything. If they had gone with a Lulu, they were anticipating prolonged team fights, and that is, of course, not the case. But Sven's got his Jarvan.
So there is the Jarvan selected, and Svenskeren, like you said, it's a champion that he is so comfortable on, and actually was starting to get banned towards him at the end of the spring split.
Yes, 6 targeted bans against him. It's his second most popular, or second preferred jungler. Wow, that was a terrible sentence. He played that champion the second most, behind Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao was his opening jungler, and it fills that same role. Very aggressive, very in your face. There's a lot of pressure on Deficio now to stun both Evelyn and Vayne in these team fights, because if they get rolling, and I mean tumbling rolling, they can destroy the Ninjas team.
If this Vlad gets locked in, what are
Vlad mid Shen top would be my guess. Or they could even put Shen up against Zed. He would be able to feint a lot of the early level aggression. He'd be able to Vorpal Blade some of the survivability, but because it's Ghost and Flash as summoner spells, my instincts tell me that's going to be Vlad mid lane.
We'll see. They're going to have a shuffle around. Of course, they've got all the time in the world. They don't need to rush doing it, so Lemondogs maybe have something up the sleeves here. But what do we see between these two teams? Because that's a very strong, tanky front line from NiP to get in there. And of course, with Devaris blocking it up and Zed, he can get a lot of damage. So really, Tabzz is going to have to be very just stay away from the fights, because he is going to be the focus.
Basically, the thing that Lemondogs will need to do is get their shields onto Tabzz, try to, knock everybody up with the Nami ultimate, get Stand United down, because if Tabzz is caught by a Death Mark, by a Crescendo, an Unstoppable Force, a Knock-Up, or a Cataclysm, or...
There's a lot.
That's the point, that's the point. There's so many things, but on the same token, there's a lot of interference. If you try to, get through an Eve, she's going to pop her ultimate on you, slow everybody down, get that massive shield. Then she's going to run away, maybe with Stand United. If you try to focus Vlad, he's just going to pull away and troll to safety. So they've got this great mixture of both initiation and counter-initiation with their champions. And I think Nami and Sona will be very key. A good crescendo or a good tidal wave will win team fights.
Well, if you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be NiP versus the Lemondogs. Lemondogs new to the LCS. We've already seen one new team winning. It was Meteor Makers. They took down SK Gaming. And of course, Fnatic, they managed to beat out against Gambit in the first game of the day. It's the third match of 7 today, so there's another few to come yet, and of course there's going to be 10 tomorrow and 3 on the Monday, as well as the Dreamhack tournament, which will be happening here as well. So lots and lots of League of Legends action for you to
feast
consume,
on.
feast, whatever you'd like to do with the League of Legends action. But of course, this is the summer split. This is the start of the summer split. We are building up towards the World Finals, the grand stage. Of course, the Taipei Assassins took it in Season 2. Who will take it in Season 3? Will it be a European team?
I'd like to think so. See if we can get some.
Ask.
It is at the moment, especially after seeing the All-Star Game performance, because let's be honest, it was very disappointing. Right now, though, we are seeing the Lemondogs for the first time on the LCS stage. They qualified in phenomenal fashion. And it does look like both teams showing equal respect and, strategizing for the first couple seconds.
Ready and waiting to go, and here we go. So, as you mentioned, the red team will be the Lemondogs, or Lemon Gods, as I may refer to them a couple of times in this.
Depends on their performances, I imagine.
Yeah, hopefully we won't see big lemons in the sky, reigning supreme. But NiP, of course, will be the blue team, and they are looking to have a much better start this split. They don't want to go 0-9, and they certainly do not want to lose their first match against the new team that have confidently called themselves the winners of the summer.
Yeah, they've called it. Lemondog said that's where they want to go, and aim high or go home. The one thing that we have noticed again, game 3 of the day, a slow start, defensive wards from both teams, and nobody really wanting to overextend and get caught out. You don't want to give away anything. We do see a very early pink ward coming down from Deficio, and I imagine that's just to fend off the pressure of a Dexter, Evelyn invade because of the the stealth and obviously being able to just walk past any vision wards you have.
Lemondogs are on it, 4-man down this middle river, but they aren't going to go aggressive. They just simply put that Wraith ward out. It does look like we are going to have some lane switching going on for the first time, though, so you can already see that Tabzz has made himself visible in towards that top lane. He wants to start off on the golems, so it's Lemondogs that initiate the lane switch.
And of course, this is 3.7, guys, so the timing changes to the camp spawning has not taken effect just yet. It's not on the tournament realm at this moment in time, so we'll see quite how well these lane swaps do, because at the moment it also looks like Ninjas in Pyjamas are sending their duo lane mid. It did look as though Bjergsen was taking that Z to the bottom lane, so we'll see how these things filter into their respective positions. But one thing that you have to be aware of and be scared of is the on-hit damage from that Vayne and Nami combo.
Yeah, because you see TheTess was helping out on the wolves there, so they are going to the mid lane, so it will be lane switches ahoy all over the map. Deficio will be joining him in that mid lane. It does mean that Bjergsen is going down the bottom, so it's going to be Zed versus Shen. The ninjas will be battling out in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, the mid lane, of course, will be the duo lanes of NiP's TheTess and Deficio. up against Nukeduck and keeping the pressure on Vlad.
So I really like this setup here for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Vlad is, really weak early on. Everybody keeps talking about how he needs to get to level 9 before he's got that max cooldown on his transfusion, his Q, and can sustain. So if you can punish him early, it's going to be very effective. But again, we have a similar situation like we've seen already today, that even without items, Vlad's ultimate is going to give that damage amplification to the rest of his team. And even if you shut him down, that ultimate is still going to have a very big impact if you can hit multiple members.
From Dexter's point of view, he's obviously going to be looking for the kills early on. Deficio taking a tower hit there actually in the mid lane. He's going to be looking for those kills early on. He wants to try and make his presence known as much as possible. Does his lane switching help him at all?
It does, if they can get some poke down onto the TheTess and to Sona in terms of making it stick. So what they're going to need is some additional assistance, maybe from the likes of that Shen with the Stand United or something along those lines, because you can see how overextended the TheTess and Deficio are. If you're able to get behind them, use that Sanguine Pool slow, as well as the Evelyn hate spikes and red buff, you can pick up kills on a very squishy Sona. Deficio is maybe overextending on that turret a little too much. That's the second or third consecutive hit.
Took 2 tower hits, but he knew, of course, that he had the jungler nearby. Meanwhile, this top turret, that's taking a lot of damage as well. Tabzz is making sure he's keeping the pressure on it. Godbro, he's been up against so many times in the 2v1 lane. He's quite happy to work away from that one. Just managed to just back away, though. TheTess continues to file that hail of arrows out onto towards Nukeduck, and Dexter is having to help him out every time he comes towards it. In the bottom lane, haven't had much chance to look at this yet. It is Ninja versus Ninja, and it does look like Bjergsen is going to go back, so he's going to be the first man to go by.
So this is something that I really like from the Lemondogs. I think this is a very smart move, just in terms of having Shen against Zed. I don't want to say it's a counter, but he can survive more effectively against the low-level damage that Zed is putting out. As I mentioned, he's got that shield with the feint, he's got the ability to sustain some of it, and if Zed gets very aggressive, he just taunts him up and gets a damage reduction. So it's a very, very smart play from Lemondogs. Before that, we've seen another very good poke damage being put down onto Godbro, getting him caught up in that Aqua Prison, landing a couple of auto attacks with the Tidehunter's blessing from NiP, and then just poking down through that shield.
In the jungle, we do see Dexter making his way towards Svenskeren, who's just taken away that race once again this time around. Dexter is going to get initiated on. Svenskeren simply going to slide in. I'm not too sure who's going to win out in that fight right now. They both have the buffs. Actually, it's the red buff on Dexter he just got as well, so maybe he would have won out that fight if he'd have stuck around. But you can see the pressure. They've taken that turret down to half health already. They're trying their best to work it down as quick as possible, because in the top lane, of course, it does mean that Tabzz is working down the turret as much as he can, but Godbro's doing a good job of keeping them off it.
Yeah, he's actually fended off this turret very, very well. The splash damage from his W as well as the EAOE is going to be able to clear those waves quite quickly. He is falling behind in CS though, 19 to the 30 of Shen, who would be his direct opposite. Right now, Zorozero and Bjergsen toying back and forth, but of course there is a 10 CS advantage for Zed over Vlad, who would have been his, direct opposite number. So it sort of balances out across the board.
Bjergsen happy to hold the line with the minion wave there. He did go back, remember, early, got that Rejuvi bead picked up, along with the pink ward. Meanwhile, you see a giant spell coming out of Zorozero on his first back. So
that's a very, very good pickup. Again, just to survive the damage that Zed is putting down, until Zed gets a Blade of the Rune King or something, he's not going to burn through all of that HP on Shen. But the one thing that we did start to notice up until that last wave is that there is a small CS advantage for the TheTess. He's going to need to make that stick. He's in the mid lane, so he has the ability to maybe fall back, try to pick up some of the Wraith Camps, etc. And he's only got a 10 CS advantage over Vayne right now. And if you're comparing sort of like, dare I say, hyper carry versus hyper carry, Vayne is a better duelist in those situations, but they have got a lot of tower damage.
That mid turret is almost down. You can see the TheTess taking a little bit too many hits there from Nukeduck, and Dexter's getting ready and waiting there. Haven't hit 6 yet. Everybody's very, very close to it there. You can see the experience bar there is just about to tail out, and I've got a feeling once they do hit that 6, those ultimates may well be a problem. You can see wewillfailer. He's going to try and sneak around the side.
Yeah, but take a look at the positioning for Svenskeren. This is going to be a situation where the moment wewillfailer shows himself in lane, that may signal go for Sven. On the same token, if the TheTess and Deficio are caught out by this Aqua Prison because they are so overextended, they're going to be in trouble. Here they come for the fight.
Dexter just hit 6, and you can see Stand United immediately. He's going straight in there, and they're going to try and get on towards him, and they just absolutely massacre the TheTess in that mid lane. It was 4 members of Lemondogs coming straight out. He had no hope.
Yeah, it was a great combination. They opened up with the Eve ultimate. They had Zorozero coming in with Stand United, and basically Deficio just flashed to safety. He pretty much went, there's nothing I can do for you. The TheTess actually went back towards the opposite direction, just mitigated accelerating the damages. So a very good play from Lemondogs, and it's exactly what you were talking about early on. The overextension from the members of Ninjas in Pyjamas cost them that first blood.
Well, of course, it does mean that they did go for the aggression in the top lane. Svenskeren, we thought maybe would have gone straight towards Tabzz as that happened, but it didn't work out. Of course, the turret in the top lane's only down to about half health. Bjergsen's actually hanging around for Zorozero, and he's putting a bit of damage down towards him, but you can see those passive. That shield just working so well for Zorozero, and of course with that giant belt on, along with the armor, he's still very, very tanky. He's not too worried about Bjergsen just yet.
It's basically just going to become a farm fest again. It's going to be one of these lanes where they're going to play it out as slow as, as slow as they can, just to try and build whatever advantage is possible. Now with the farm that TheTess got early on, and the fact that he died, he's picked up that BF sword, which means when this wave hits the tower, it will get the tower down. It was down to a couple hundred hit points, so it's 1 or 2 auto attacks away from finishing. The question is, are they brave enough to actually push forward and close it out?
Well, they know that Dexter's there, you just saw him sneaking in. They do back away there. Of course, they have got their ultimates available this time. They didn't have them in that last fight. You see Deficio hasn't quite hit 6 yet, so the fact that if they'd had that chain of corruption or crescendo probably would have mitigated everything, but of course that's why Lemondogs actually went the way they did. That's why they went aggressive at that time.
Yeah. It was like a timing attack, basically. If they were able to lock them up at CC, you can flash to safety. Now, Svenskeren is level 6, so if they want to try and trap Nukeduck, they can, but I think his presence here is just to get the tower. They just want to brute force him away and say, look, there's 3 of us. Even if Eve rocks up, oh, that's a lot of damage. They may decide to go. Here comes Dexter. He does not have his ultimate available, so it just peters away. At the moment, I think Ninjas in Pyjamas just want this tower really, really badly.
Well, we see a lane switch as well from Lemondogs. You can see Shen's been sent to the top now, so Zorozero is up there in Tabzz, and wewillfailer has gone down towards this bottom lane now. So they didn't take the turret. They realized it wasn't going to happen, but instead they're going to go aggressive on towards Bjergsen. That is the mid turret going down, though. We knew it was going to happen with the next wave eventually. That is going to free up a number of members of both teams, actually. Yeah. We'll see who benefits from it.
And a little bit of miscommunication there. We actually seen Tabzz condemning Bjergsen out of the Aqua Prison. Now, 2 members of NiP are up in this top lane. Svenskeren does have double buffs as well as that Cataclysm available. So I don't think they have enough to get a full HP Shen under a turret, but you can definitely see it's just the presence. Sven, even though he's not ganking. Oh, in the mid lane!
Mid lane, you can see Chain of Corruption, but that's going to be Nukeduck going aggressive. Willie going towards the test. His ultimate will pop off. It's taking them both down to half hit points, but they just simply caught them while they were backing off in the bush, and there was a ward right on top of them.
So well played. First of all, they almost set that, pick up that kill. Up in the top lane, there was a teleport that was coming out from Godbro, and that is what signaled them to run away and decide to back off. In the mid lane, Svenskeren's caught Dexter.
Svenskeren goes in, but that's going to be Stun United back out. Crescendo goes on towards him. Dexter taken very low by the tower there, but they just simply didn't have the damage, but it has forced that ultimate. We did see Godbro was making his way down the river, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go back up and continue farming.
Nukeduck is doing very well at keeping those tides of blood up. Bjergsen takes a lot of poke damage. Those silver bolts from Vayne just chunking his HP, and this is what we talked about earlier on. If a good crescendo lands, they can pick up kills. In that case, it was defensive. Lock up the damage dealers, prevent the taunts, prevent the Eve running in, and it allowed them to get away safely. But defensive use of the ultimate means it's not available if they want to pick a fight.
See Zorozero who's nearly got that Sunfire Cape completed. He's going to continue on, and I suspect we're going to see him split bush farming for a long time, as you generally do get when that Shen is available. Tabzz and wewillfailer working on this bottom turret. That's going to go down to half health as well. Remember, the top one is already at half health as well. So Lemondogs, despite not taking a turret, they've definitely worked a number of them into the position that they can just sweep across the map and take them all at the same time.
And basically that gives them the opportunity to decide where they want to pressure. Let's say, for example, they group up as a 5, take this bottom tower down, then they can brute force the dragon and force that engagement. They still are waiting for the Stand Unite to cool down, so it would mean Zorozero would need to run down there, but when that's available, you can expect them to set something like that up. Svenskeren is in this bottom lane if they decide to try and dive on Godbro, and Dexter is actually there with his ultimate.
He's going to go sliding in, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. That's going to be the ultimate coming out from wewillfailer. They're going to pin on Svenskeren. He just gets massacred by Tabzz there, pins him straight back, and well, Lemondogs are looking very, very good in their first LCS match.
Yeah, really strong positions. Ninjas in Pyjamas picked the fight not knowing that Eve was around, and the moment Eve showed her face, her ultimate was 1 second away from being used, and it got dropped. Now TheTess is going to try to save out Godbro. He forces to flash, or was forced to flash thanks to the Aqua Prism.
Yeah. NiP do get 3 members down there, but it doesn't matter. The objective is down. Lemondogs don't care. They're just going to back away. They're going to hold out this lane. but successfully done. And now looking at Nukeduck, he's heading up the river and maybe going to try and catch out Bjergsen again.
Yeah, he does have his ultimate available, so with Hemoplague and a taunt from Shen, they may have enough time to actually chunk down Bjergsen, but wisely he's backing away. There was no vision in those top bushes, so Nukeduck, instead of maybe losing CS or being out of position, he does decide to just fall back and returns to that mid lane to continue applying pressure on that tower. It's 1,000 gold difference thanks to those 2 kills. Of course, one of them was first blood.
And let's take a look at the farm across the map, because of course Zorozero has been building up a huge lead over Godbro in the time that he's been across different lanes and finally has joined up. You can see 107 to 67, so 40 CS differential there between them, and of course that swings the other way for Bjergsen versus Nukeduck. But the way Nukeduck's playing, you wouldn't know it.
No, it's the truth. And the one thing that's very impressive about Nukeduck's positional play during all of these engagements is his stacks of Tides of Blood. He's kept them at 3 or 4, that's his E. And every single time he's taken some damage, he's hitting 2 or 3 targets with that E and dropping the TheTess and Deficio very, very low. It's actually part of the reason they were able to, bully them away and survive some of these fights. So Nukeduck, he's got the sustain from that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, and basically, as long as he's not caught out of position with Ghost and Flash, he's unkillable.
As it is, it's 2-0. We'll see who is unkillable. The Dragon was poked there by Svenskeren because he realized that Lemondogs were going towards it, but they're happy to just back away and keep the lane phase going because it's working in their favor so far.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that's great to see, especially from a new team in the scene, that they understand, hey, if we are winning the trades, we're picking the fights and we're winning them, let's not overextend. Let's not throw away that advantageous position, especially when you've got a Shen that is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. If you have a Shen that can jump into any fight and tank up 3 or 4 members of the opposition team, it just buys you all the time you need for your Vlad and your Vayne to win team fights.
Oh, a lot of gold picked up there in case of wards. 50 gold going towards Tabzz, and now they're thinking, are they going for Dragon? Pings go down from NiP, but that's not where they're going. It may well just be setting up a bait here. Here goes Dexter, he's going to dive in towards him, pops the ultimate on towards the TheTess. Chain of Corruption comes out, it will be enough. Followed by Crescendo, now they're going to try and turn it around. They're going towards Tabzz. Stand United is going to come out there. The Godbro is going to come in. There's the unstoppable force. Boom, straight away. Tabzz goes down. And Svenskeren backs away from this one. And that was a great turnaround fight by NiP. Then Bjergsen's going to chase down. Is he going to go towards Dexter? Yes, he is. Dexter's going to go down. Now Zorozero's the target. They're going to turn towards him. Nukeduck tries to put his Hemoplague down. Is it going to be enough? The flash comes out and just about escaped it. But that was a 2-0 and a great exchange for NiP.
Phenomenal reaction from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They got caught. They were trying to set up a gank. They were trying to move into position to pick a fight with Lemondogs, but got jumped on quicker than they were anticipating. A very, very good defensive ultimate and flash from the TheTess got him to safety. Then Vayne was locked up by Crescendo, which bought Svenskeren time to get the knockup. To be very honest with you, Tabzz must be fuming because he spent half that time flying in the air from all of the knockups from the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, and they have a great crowd control. The fact that the TheTess did manage to land that Chain of Corruption was a big deal. And immediately they tried to get out of it, laid it straight away with that Crescendo. There was no way out of it for him. So that resets everything, doesn't it? They're back to 200 gold difference between the two. Still nobody picking up that Dragon though. And it is just 1 tower apiece, so very, very tight between these teams. NiP, of course, the veterans, they've had a really tough season. It's safe to say, if anyone can come back from a loss, it is them.
Yeah, they've definitely played from all positions now. They know where Bjergsen is. I think Bjergsen's aware of this as well. He uses that living shadow. Godbro's trying to fight them off. There he goes with the ult.
Shadow Dash goes in. They're going to turn up towards Dexter. He might well pop. Yes, he does. Bjergsen's going to get away from this one. Oh, Nukeduck comes in, finishes him off, and that's going to even things up. It's 1 kill apiece.
So they trade 1 for 1, but there's an additional assist on the hands of the Lemondogs. So even though they traded kills, Lemondogs come out in the better position. They gain additional gold from it. And very, very crucially, it goes into the champion who was starved early on. It was Vladimir that is now 2-0 of his team's 3 kills. Even though he's behind in CS, he's making up for it with those kills gold.
Blade of the Rune King's almost completed by Bjergsen. Himself happy to cut this. He's just going to complete it shortly. We do see the pick ward in that Dragon Pit. Are they going to start it off this time? I'm still not too sure. No, they're just happy to stick around, and immediately it draws NiP's attention once again back down there. Remember, Stand United is not available right now, but Godbro, he could interrupt him if he tries to join the fight.
He could interrupt the Stand United, but he does not have teleport himself. So it would end up being the situation where it would be a legitimate 4v4 for the next couple of minutes. And I imagine that Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to be well aware that the cooldown is around about now. They know how long ago the previous fight was, and you know, these teams and these players, they time these ultimates, they time these abilities. Around 1740 is when Stand United should be back up, and it does look like that's going to be the case. They basically just stood off around Dragon, but no fight broke out.
A lot of armor stacking from Zorozero here with those double cloths as well as some fire cape. Some fire cape just completed by Godbro. It does look like we're going to have another small little hold. Tabzz is continuing the farm in this bottom lane. And actually, TheTess and Tabzz have kept fairly even, despite the fact they've really not been in lane with each other at all. It's just 10 CS difference between the two. Dexter's going to come around. They're trying to get on those raids, but Svenskeren steals them once again.
Yeah, so they're taking a lot of jungle camps away, and there's some good presence by Svenskeren. He's been a little bit more present than Dexter in terms of getting objectives, in terms of applying pressure to lanes. Right now, Ninjas in Pyjamas see that there's an opportunity for damage in this mid lane, and they've stacked up as 4. They've dropped it down a couple hundred hit points.
Yeah, they've realized that Tabzz and wewillfailer were a long way away from here, and they can see they've chunked some damage down there. We're going to have Godbro joining them as well. His teleport's still not available, so you can have to manually walk down there, and it looked like to me they're going to start trying to set up for this dragon, or they're just going to keep the pressure in the mid lane. wewillfailer almost caught out by the wards there, but the pink ward of Svenskeren spots it immediately. Clears the danger.
Yeah, so Dragon is the clear objective right now. 5-man ninjas are slowly starting to sneak down here. There is a ward that they've just walked over, so they'll probably be clearing that one out and trying to pick an engagement. There's no oracles though, so they're unaware of that river ward. Stand United is up for Zorozero if a fight were to break out. And you were talking about the armor that he's building, basically because the threats from ninjas are all physical damage based. So see how that pans out right now though. Lemondogs are the advantage.
This is brilliant. Lemondogs have gone in there. They've taken the top 2 because of NiP's maneuvering and taken the dragon. And that just quickly swung the gold massively in their favor. Just like that, the position NiP were kind of caught in between what to do. Lemondogs completely took advantage.
Yeah, the best word, indecision, cost them. They decided to not go for Dragon, and because they were out of position trying to go for Dragon, they lost it as well as losing that top lane tower. So Ninjas are going to need to be a little bit more assertive in their positional play and their decision making. Maybe like Svenskeren hanging around here. I think he's aware of wewillfailer and Tabzz, and TheTess might get caught out. There's the ulti from Vayne.
They're going to go straight in towards him. He does pop the chain of corruption at the right time, but he's going to get bounced up. Is it going to be enough? He's going to try and turn it back on towards the TheTess. No, Stand United comes out, Catechism comes out, gets flashed out of, but there's going to be immediately dash straight in and stop all force, but I don't think he's got the damage, and you can see he does take him down and Godbro backs away. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's not over yet because wewillfailer is going to get caught out by Bjergsen, but straight away turned back around, Bjergsen gets taken down by Zorozero, and they are continuing to chase. Have they got the damage? Dexter's going to go in, it's a flash, shadow dash on towards Svenskeren, crescendo across all 3 of them. Fantastic play there, and NiP back away. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
2-for-2 trade, and Deficio saved them from giving up more. The question is, can they save the turret? This is 3 members of Lemondogs. They are stacking up, and while they're not the fastest turret killers, the fact that there is no resistance means they should be able to get this for free. Godbro's gone, he's been tortured.
Godbro's going to get caught out there, but TheTess is back in the fight. He's going to get taken down. They should tear him towards Dexter. The tower's not hitting him though, and he's just going to dash away from this one. A hit and run from Lemondogs.
So well played, they managed to save the tower, but they do give up another kill. So at the moment, Lemondogs, the reactionary play was good, but another good team fight from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They get jumped on, but managed to make the best of a bad situation. Lemondogs are still in the driving seat though. They've got the gold advantage, and they're making the plays. Ninjas are simply reacting to them.
We haven't really had much chance to go over the items either because I'm looking in towards Bjergsen. He's got those 3 kills so far, and he's got that Blade of the Ring King and Brutalizer now completed. Meanwhile, Nukeduck, he's got himself that Zhonya's Hourglass in there as well now complete, so he's going to be a little bit of a troll pull as he goes in towards them. Looking towards the AD carries, and TheTess, of course, with that Infinity Edge completed a while ago. Tabzz, though, he's got that Blade of the Ring King, and the Phantom Dancer is not far away.
No, it's not, and nor is Bjergsen right now. He's been playing very, very patiently. He has enough damage to pretty much burst down Tabzz without any interrupts from Nami. So he was thinking about jumping in there, and he's still thinking about it. Instead, he will probably back off and farm up that wave very soon. A lot of armor being built up on the side of Lemondogs, and it's the best decision they can make because Godbro is not building ability power right now, and there's no magic-based damage coming from Ninjas in Pyjamas outside of a little bit of, from the sides. And we'll see how this pans out for Lemondogs, because if everyone gets armor, it's going to be very, very difficult for Ninjas to win team fights.
Goes back in towards that top lane. going up against Bjergsen. He's quite happy to keep the pressure down. Meanwhile, the rest of NiP stacking up in that mid lane. Of course, Godbro and Zorozero continuing their split push dominance. Indian Zone almost completed by Zorozero as well. Looks like Godbro is going the exact same way.
Yeah, and especially when you're going up against an Eve, a Vlad, and a Vayne, if you can slow their movement speed with that active, just prevent them from kiting and rolling and in and out, that's pretty much how you want to try to control the fights. And basically the idea is throw yourself in there with Malphite, slow them with the Randuins, and then land a crescendo on top of 3 or 4. Right now, Lemondogs, they've stacked up in mid lane. That was 4 of them. They thought about fighting or thought about putting pressure down, but very, reactionary Ninjas and Pyjamas are there to catch any of that aggression.
Godbro, Zorozero, 2 fat kippers going against each other there. Nobody really going to be able to win out that fight at the moment.
Basically the most boring bruiser battle on the planet.
Sorcerer boots picked up by Godbro though, so he wants a little bit of that magic pen for when his ultimate goes down there and gets some ground slams on and the shards dying across. But compared to the farm, just look at it, it's fairly close across the board between them all. But of course those advantages that have been slowly gained by Lemondogs,
it's playing into their favor, and that's why they've got the 3,500 gold lead right now. That additional tower, that additional CS that's working, for them. The one thing that you do have to note is that we'll probably see the likes of an Abyssal Scepter coming out from Malphite later on, especially because he's dealing with an even of Vlad, the amount of magic damage they're going to be putting down. So once he starts working some of those items into his build, he'll actually become a threat for the Vayne. He may be able to actually pop her with a little bit of additional help from the rest of his teammates.
We do see an Oracle on wewillfailer there, so we'll see whether he starts to clear out those wards. He's got Tabzz with him. Took a little bit of CS as well in that lane, so why not? He's going to go to the waste. 10 CS to 15 CS between the 2 supports. Of course, we see the Oracle pot already on Deficio as well. So he's going to be using that in a moment on Sona, but not quite so safe Sona compared to a Nami.
No, that's the truth, but also we see a GP10 with the Sona and no GP10 with the Nami. So Sona has a little bit less overall HP thanks to not having the Ruby Sightstone completed, whereas Nami does. But the GP10 is ticking, so the longer this game goes, the more of an impact that Sona is going to have in the game. The thing is, they fill very, very similar roles. Their ultimates are vitally important for team fights, and their positions are key. Right now, Ninja's a little bit out of position. This is free damage on the tower.
The free damage on the tower, and the blue buff's also up.
Look at
you can see that actually Zorozero is pushing for the blue buff. That's going to be the mid turret going down. Nukeduck comes around, there gets the poke on Svenskeren, and also means they're going to hit and run on that blue buff. And wow, straight away they're going to try and hold it out. Are they going to wait for Dexter to come around and maybe pick it up?
Ooh,
they're just going to hang around Svenskeren, and he really wants it. Bjergsen knows that he's there though, and it is going to be Nukeduck that takes it.
So they end up getting the tower and the blue buff for free. Ninjas and Pyjamas did not contest that at all, and I think they realize how much of a disadvantage they're at right now. They need to catch Lemondogs out of position and kill them quickly before they can win anything else, because if they pick a fight, Stand United, plus the shield, plus the Nami ulti, etc. is going to cause them problems. Dragon's been started, Sven might try steal.
You see whether he goes in for it. No, he's not. They're just going to let him have it again. And that means it's now a 5,000 gold lead. Got a new team to come into it. A second new team, I might add. Neomaker's already taken down SK Gaming, who finished 3rd in the Summer Split League, and then 4th in the playoffs. But as it stands, NiP, they could be starting off with a loss here. It's a long way to go, though. There's only 3-1 in turrets so far.
And another slower paced game, like we have been seeing, as is the trend from the previous games before as well. Not necessarily the strongest of dives, and I think it's because teams are still trying to feel one another out. They're still trying to figure out what do they do, what are their styles, if you dive them, what is their preference and things like that. So we're not going to see any of these crazy tower dives for a little while, at least not until more armor has been picked up on the side of Lemondogs, because the way they've picked fights, I think they'd be willing to try.
Absolutely. So 26 minutes gone here. 5-6 the kills. Still not too many, not too aggressive a games. And as you mentioned, it's a case of, the teams really just don't know the strength of one another right now. They're just feeling each other out. And it's kind of expected. It's the same way as happened in the spring. The teams definitely took a much slower pace about it this time. But the new teams coming into the LCS definitely are shaking things up here. Just as we've seen in the North American League, it does look like we're going to have a couple of wins being picked up by the new boys already. Yeah,
especially if this carries on the way that it is. At the moment, Lemondogs are playing a little bit hesitant because the previous fights they've picked turned around on them. they initiated the engagements and then it sort of backfired with teleports and with, you know, very fast reactionary play from ninjas. So that's always going to be playing in their mind, going, well, if we dive again, teleport's definitely up for Godbro, you know, can we catch the Z, etc., etc. So instead, they're just farming this out. If they continue to just generate this gold lead, it's going to put them in a very, very strong position. Once again, Nukeduck charging up those Tides of Blood, waiting to see if Bjergsen will step out of position, but he does not this time round.
Yeah, Dexter's also sat waiting in the wings. They really wanted to pounce on him there, but they have left this bottom turret fairly well exposed now. Bjergsen is still the only person there. Look at this, they're hanging around, they're waiting. Very, very patient play here from Lemondogs. They want to make sure they can get that kill onto Bjergsen.
Yeah, and it's the right thing to do. Don't over, you know, press your advantages. Even though you do have Eve that is stealthed up, you don't want to give away her position and let your team or your opponents know what you're doing. Now Bjergsen is stepping a little bit further. Tides of Blood is charging up for Nukeduck. Bjergsen is just going to be farming this wave. The Living Shadow's out. That's the signal to go.
They're going straight in for him. Immediately turns it back around, goes towards Nukeduck and gets straight away. The teleport coming in. Godbro's going to try and chase this one up. Will he go for the Unstoppable Force? Nukeduck's going to take him very low. The Ignite goes down. I'm not too sure it's quite going to be enough. It will be with the Cataclysm. There's the Sonya's Hourglass coming out. Is it going to be enough? They're going to turn it back around. Stand United comes in. Have they baited them in completely here? Svenskeren's taken incredibly low, as is Godbro. But Chain of Corruption gets back on towards next. They can turn it around. There's the crescendo. And NiP are going to try and back away from this one. They're going to just flash away from the world's slowest ultimate. And they do all disengage.
Bjergsen was unbelievable there. He threw out the Living Shadow, and that was the signal to go. Both Eve and Vlad said, okay, let's pick the engagement. He's got no more escape. And the second they revealed themselves, Bjergsen instantly processed, well, I can deathmark Vlad, jump to my shadow, hit him with my full combo and almost kill him. And he pulled it off and got away with his life. That was phenomenal, phenomenal play.
And as you mentioned, that is the third time now that Lemondogs have set up a trap and it is backfired on them. NiP were reacting very, very quickly to that one, and they just layered every ultimate very well as well. So that is definitely going to put a question in Lemondogs' mind, and it's 6-6 in kills. They're 3-1 in turrets. They're not going to be feeling that gold advantage that they have.
No, that's the problem that Lemondogs will be facing. That the confidence that you get from making plays happen is fantastic, but when they backfire like that, where every ultimate from every player is used and only one kill happens, it makes you more hesitant to make plays and make those big plays that you need to do with an Eve, with a Vlad, diving in. I also wonder what would have happened if that tidal wave had been used a little bit earlier, but I'm not 100% sure if it was available for cooldown, you know, during the course of that battle. Nevertheless, 6-6, and that 3,000 gold lead still holds.
Absolutely. As it stands, we are waiting in the wings to see what will happen next. We do see Bjergsen back in this top lane. He's getting some free farm on, and it looks like Lemondogs are going to try and go aggressive in this mid lane. They're quickly pushing down, but I don't think they're going to make too much of it. There's not a great deal of ward coverage out either for either team at the moment. The river ward you can see in that top towards the Baron, but absolutely nothing down towards the Dragon. Nothing around there, so they've got no idea of what could be below them.
So basically, Ninjas and Pyjamas are running with their tails between their legs right now. They cannot overextend because of the threat that their opponents have. And that's why you see this lack of vision, and why you see, you know, it ended up needing Nukeduck and Dexter to wait for basically 2.5 minutes to wait for somebody to push up the wave, because Ninjas and Pyjamas are playing very, very, very safely, and it's what they need to do. They need to get themselves a few more items and then try and catch somebody out of position. Finally, they're starting to stack up a little bit in the middle, but even then, it's just to push the wave out. They immediately back away.
They're keeping everybody busy because they want to try and get by Bjergsen some time in that top lane to see if he can push on Zorozero and take down that top turret, the second turret of the game that they're pushing towards. He may well go aggressive on Zorozero. Don't really think he's still quite got enough to take him down.
No, not through a Sunfire and a Radiant.
And the Ninja Stabby, yeah. He's just so strong, and the Aegis Legion in there as well now. So he's very, very tanky, and going to come problem for them that they're going to have to deal with.
Crucially as well, Tabzz has just finished his Guardian Angel on his last back. So not only is he, you know, a Phantom Dancer, Blade of the Ruin King Vayne, he now has that GA, that second life to come back into an engagement. So if Ninja's, you know, all in to get Vayne, basically he's just going to come back to life and say, well, what do you got left? You know, what more can you throw at me? As they pick up another free dragon.
Another free dragon. The top lane is slowly being worked on, but Zorozero is about to back off the field. That Bjergsen may well take it with his push if he lets Zorozero go back, because he is going to be completely for free. So that will be the second turret for NiP. Finally, they've been working hard on that one, but it's just going to let the minion wave take it.
Yeah, actually very interesting to note how these last couple minutes have played, because we've seen even Vlad camping up Bjergsen in the bottom lane when he was solo farming the bottom lane. Then we've seen Bjergsen with no turret in the top lane, solo farming against the Shen, and Lemondogs did nothing about it. They didn't try to get any additional wards, they didn't try to force Bjergsen out of the lane. They basically just said, look, we're happy to keep farming, we're happy to let you keep farming, we're confident in our composition and our ability to beat you in the late game, and we're just going to play until we get there.
Maybe that's just down to the fact that they have lost those last few engages that they've started on. They've just thought, fine, we'll let NiP push on us this time around. We'll see what they've got to give. wewillfailer's getting defended here with this Oracle. He's clearing out those wards. He just actually timed out in the death push there. And they are actually setting up a lot of wards around this Baron Pit area. We're now 32 minutes into the game, so it's not unimaginable wewillfailer gets a ward put on his head.
Bjergsen almost steps into the vision there of Dexter as well, so they know that he's a little bit out of position. If Ninjas and Pyjamas decided to go on, if Lemondogs decided to go on Ninjas, they would have had that advantageous numbers advantage with Shen Stand United, but instead, they're just clearing out the wards. If a Baron were to start, Vayne, Vlad, and Eep with their current builds would take that Baron down very, very quickly indeed.
Once again, Godbro and Zorozero on the round, split pushing down the bottom lane this time around. wewillfailer though is keeping all the vision away from NiP in that river area. They're not able to get close to it. Lemondogs seem to have the advantage. The question is, what will they do with it?
The question, the answer right now is farm. That's literally all that they can do. They've only got the outer towers down. Lemondogs have not grouped up to really make a concerted effort on an inner turret, and this is the first, big play that we've seen them trying to make since that bottom lane engagement. They've all just walked over a ward though. So Ninjas and Pyjamas realize they've got a stack in this middle lane. There's 4 of them pushing. Teleport is up for Godbro. This may be a big fight. They've decided to back away. If they catch Lemondogs up, this might be their fight. Look at the damage.
They get straight on to wewillfailer. Chain of Corruption goes onto it. wewillfailer's taken down. He just managed to get his ultimate off. Dexter comes in, but the exhaust is enough, and TheTess is just picking on him. Cataclysm comes in, Stand United back on towards Dexter. Can they catch him towards him? Nukeduck has to use the Sonya's Hourglass. Is it going to be enough? We do see 1 kill going in there, but Dexter gets taken down. Zorozero is going to be the next focus. Tabzz finally joins the fight. He could turn it around for them if he manages to kite it so well enough. They're going to turn back towards Svenskeren. He should be able to pick this kill up. Tabzz is turning this fight on its head, and he picks up a double kill as well. It's a 4 for 3 engage.
So a great idea from Ninjas and Pyjamas. They realized they had the vision advantage. They pulled Lemondogs where they wanted. The problem was they focused the support first instead of using those abilities on somebody like the Vlad or the Vayne, when Vayne of course joined the party. 4 for 3, they should be able to take this Baron down. That's a very, very beefy Zorozero and a high damage dealing Tabzz.
Absolutely, you can see he's actually gaining hit points tanking this, let alone losing them. He's quite happy to just stand there, and that is going to be a big advantage for Lemondogs. Are they going to wait for everybody to spawn? They should be up there. Godbro's trying to interrupt this one. Hasn't got unstoppable force, but he might be able to get in and ground slam it. Tabzz, you can see he's trying to just bait him around. He might go for the Shadow Dash, so they should turn it around. He's actually tanking the Dragon up now. There's going to be the Shadow Dash. Tabzz should take it round. One more shot will do it, and there it is. Tabzz picks up the kill. Everybody is spawned in time, and the Baron is about to go down, and the whole of the Lemondogs have the Baron buff.
If anything, that cost Ninjas and Pyjamas more than it prevented. If they could have stalled it out to allow more time for Ninjas to actually get there uninterrupted, fine. Losing 1 to stop Baron is worth it. But at the end, the delayed time just gave it to every single member of Lemondogs, and they are now sitting with a commanding 5,500 gold lead. The plays that they are making and their positional, even through that mistake, they got caught, but made it work for them. So great, great, great play from the Lemondogs.
A lot of experience being shown here from the Lemondogs, the new boys in the LCS. We've already seen from Cloud9 just how effective those new teams coming in and how confident they are, as he's shown in the North American LCS. Right now, you may well be seeing a repeat performance from the Lemondogs, and NiP, they are up against it here in their first match of the summer split.
And we'll see how they decide to bounce back, because now with Baron on, they're even further behind than just the gold signifies. They're a little bit out of position, so there's going to be a lot of free damage onto this turret. Most likely actually going to drop down, because Ninjas simply cannot defend it without an all-in engage.
Absolutely, that's going to be another inner turret going down. The first one for Lemondogs. Does mean that it's 9-11 in terms of kills, 4-2 in turrets. That gold lead stretching to 8,000 as the rest of Lemondogs take away all the resources from NiP's jungle. The red buff will go down. They're just waiting for Tabzz to get around to give it to him. And that's exactly what they did. They actually caught Svenskeren in a bubble there.
Yeah.
and they are just going to push. Remember that bottom turret was very, very low as well. Zorozero, meanwhile, is split pushing in the top lane. They are shoving every single lane right now. They tried to chase Tabzz away, but he immediately just dashed off.
So at the moment, the Lemondogs are just able to apply pressure wherever they want, thanks to the Baron, thanks to that massive gold advantage that they have. And you can actually see that the last Whisper has been completed now for Tabzz' Vayne. The bottom lane, TheTess and Deficio, trying to hold off, but because of all of the work that was done, between 20 and 30 minutes, that was just 1 or 2 auto attacks, not even from the AD carry to finish it out. They can't deal with Shen in the top lane, and unless they throw themselves at a fight, I don't see a way for Ninjas and Pyjamas to actually close this deficit.
No, there's no way Svenskeren can deal with him. He's just going to keep clearing those waves, sliding through. Zorozero is just going to be an immovable object in that top lane. Maybe they're going to have to use the unstoppable force to deal with him from Godbro, but it is the bottom lane where the pressure is going to come, and NiP have to be all ready and waiting. They've had to give up that top lane. Surely they can't let anyone go towards it because Zorozero is just going to free farm it, and it's the bottom lane inhibitor they have to protect.
Yeah, the tower hit him 3 times and it barely even scratched him. It did next to absolutely nothing. Stand United is available for Zorozero, so even if a fight breaks out, he's just going to be there at a moment's notice. Teleport is not there for Godbro, so they've actually let Bjergsen Z try to control him and contain him, because at least he's got some good wave clear. But it just means that if Lemondogs decide to, dare I say, man up a little bit and just force a fight in this bottom lane tower, they can probably take it for free because they are that far ahead right now.
So far with that Baron, they've taken all 3 inner turrets and they could push in. They've got a minute left on the Baron buff to maybe get in and take one of these inhibitors down. Dexter's just going to keep clearing that wave, but I don't think they're going to push in for it. As you say, man up. I don't think they're going to go for it just yet. They're happy to keep farming and keep the aggression on, and they're slowly gaining a huge advantage in terms of gold. They're going to dive in towards it. It's the top lane. Zorozero has to use the ultimate there, Bjergsen, but Zorozero, look at that. The ultimate pops, it does nothing.
Yeah, there's just too much armor and hit points there for Shen, so there's nothing you can do. And, since the 20th minute, Lemondogs have had monopoly on the dragon. They, other than Svenskeren sniffing at it once, that's the closest they've come to that objective. Now, with the fact that Baron allowed them to get those inner turrets, they've completely lost control of their own jungle now as well. So when those blue and those red buffs respawn, Lemondogs will be there to contest, and they will be there to say, no, this is now mine. You do not have permission to have that objective.
Zorozero currently building towards that Trinity Force next. I feel once he gets that, he's going to be a serious, serious danger. Not only is he going to have the ability to absorb it, he's going to have the ability to dish it out as well. It's going to be a serious problem. Godbro, of course, trying to get himself some damage of his own. You can see he's already picked up that blasting one. He's going to get that Abyssal Scepter completed shortly with that Negatron's cloak. As it stands, though, they seem at odds to what to do.
There's not enough damage sources from Ninjas, so I think they're fully aware that they need to pick a fight to get ahead, and that they need to actually pick an engagement to make something happen. But because their damage sources are basically Zed and Varus, and they've been countered by the immense amount of armor on the opposite team, they simply can't do it. They needed some ability power damage. They needed maybe a mage in there as well to help, distribute the defensive items, because 3 Zhonya's Hourglasses, a Guardian Angel, and the Randians, there is a bajillion armor in the Lemondogs' back pockets.
Yeah, of course, we do see the Guardian Angel also on Bjergsen. TheTess is desperately trying to get his completed as well, but there's wave clear is still strong from NiP, so they're yet to get in. They're yet to put any damage on one of those inhibitor turrets, but looking across the map, you can tell it is going to be Lemondogs sliding in there. Svenskeren looking to maybe try and make a kill. They're going to get into it. The Hemo play catches everyone from NiP. They are in desperate trouble here, and you see straight away Deficio going down. The Zhonya's Hourglass comes out, and now Godbro has to use the unstoppable force just to get away from the fight. They're going to go down towards the bottom, but it doesn't matter. The top wave is being single-handedly dealt with. Zorozero is taking down the turret all on his own.
Such good play there from the Lemondogs. That was a 4 versus 5 that they won. They didn't even need the Stand United. Godbro's going to try pick a fight, but he needs to be very, very careful because the rest of the team can react very quickly there. What we did see, though, was the Chain of Corruption at least holding the Lemondogs in place, preventing further damage. And this is going to sound weird, but at least they didn't lose their inhibitors. So the turrets are now down, and that was the biggest stumbling block. With a Vayne, with an Eve, with a Vlad, that's very short range champion, so it's difficult to kill towers, it's difficult to siege, and that's why it's taken so long for the Lemondogs to get those towers down.
Oracle's being picked up by Deficio. Not too sure whether he's going to be able to get out and use it too much. There's not a great deal of wards out there from Lemondogs, honestly. They haven't really needed them because they've been pushing them in the base, so why waste the money to put the wards down when you have full coverage yourself anyway? And in terms of items, you can see everybody popping back, everybody buying up, And another PF sword being picked up by Tabzz. He has a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, basically when you've pitched a tent in your opponent's jungle, you don't need to ward it because you're living there. You're spending your entire time. He's also picked up the Fura boots, the red ones, which give him the additional movement speed when he's auto-attacking and chasing. So he's got this great combination of his passive allows him to chase targets faster. If he's hitting them, he's going to run even quicker. And with Nami's E, he's going to apply an on-hit slow. Right now, though, vision advantage with NiP. So if always Tabzz going to face check. Ninjas in Pyjamas don't have vision of Tabzz unless he steps out the bush, and Tabzz wasn't aware of it. Right now, Lemondogs are racing for the inhibs.
They're just like, fine, if you want to try and set a trap, we're going to run straight into your base and take your inhibitor for free, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. The bottom lane is being pushed as well. NiP have made a critical mistake here. The turret's gone down, the inhibitor's going down. This bottom turret is going to go down before they even get close to this one. And, well, Lemondogs have just absolutely caught NiP napping. They tried to set up the trap, they tried to be clever, but instead it has backfired once again, and Lemondogs take yet another inhibitor turret.
Lemondogs able to put their noses in the air and sniff out trouble, avoiding the death bush and managing to make it work for them, picking up 2 turrets in that particular engagement. So well played by them, and that's what you need to do at this level of play in order to win games. Not face check, not throw games by moving into, you know, the fog of war without full vision.
And you can see Lemondogs now setting up. They see all the wards, they realize that they're there, but honestly, NiP are going to try and maneuver and get into place for this one, but Lemondogs are sat ready and waiting. We see the piercing arrow coming across, but he's not really going to do a lot.
Yeah, the problem right now for Ninjas in Pyjamas is they've got such a sour taste in their mouth from trying to pick a fight. They simply cannot do anything about it. They simply cannot make anything stick because it's just their opponents are too far ahead.
Don't get salty, man. This could be a problem. But Godbro right now, he's just having to deal with Zorozero, but he can't do a thing about it. And honestly, I'm not even sure that, I think now Lemondogs are happy to fight 4v4, and they're just like, well, will you just keep Godbro from teleporting in?
Basically, that's all they need to do. You know, the position that their champions are in as far as item survivability, etc., they don't even need Shen's Taunt and Sand United to win fights because they've got the Zhonyas, because they've got all that HP, all that armor, and, you know, the lifesteal that's coming out from the respective items. So they're in an incredible position, 10,000 gold up. Basically, it's Lemondogs' game to lose right now. They just need to find the right window to open to actually close this game out.
Trinity Force just completed there as well. So that means that Shen or Zorozero will be a complete disaster and incredibly hard to deal with, as well as that damage he's going to put out. TheTess is going to finally get his red buff as his own, so we'll see how that helps when the next fight comes out. If he shows himself in his bottom lane, which I don't think he's going to do, then surely that will trigger Lemondogs to just rush straight for that Baron.
Yeah, in talking about rushing, if you actually look at 3 or 4 of their boots, I see 1, 2, 3 alacrity upgrades. So you've got Nami with boots of mobility, plus the alacrity, plus the 15 movement speed. They want to be roaming, rotating, and pushing the entire time. So what this signals, they're not actually looking to force a team fight. They're simply looking to be able to react to whatever ninjas do. If a fight breaks out, because their movement speed is so incredibly high, they'll just run to the battle. They don't need anything else to get there.
They are going to keep on clearing those wards, keep on getting the position. 45-minute game so far, and I think the next team fight will definitely be the winner. I'm expecting Lemondogs to take it. We'll see though. NiP, they still have it in them, and Lemondogs actually are still very cautious of NiP. They realize that they aren't 100% in control. If they get caught out in the open and they do manage to layer those ultimates, it still could spell trouble for them.
And that's the reason they're playing cautiously. They fully understand, respect, and appreciate their opponent's, you know, ability as well as their composition, because the Lemondogs realize if they do get caught out, they can still lose a fight. Right now, though, they were looking to try and make a play on Godbro, and instead of force, you know, or try force something that's not 100% certain, Lemondogs are just playing this passively and safely, and you can't blame them. This is their first game on the LCS stage, and they want it to be a victory.
Absolutely. Looking at Nukeduck, he's up to 602 ability power, not quite the 996 we saw from Lynge in the CLG Dignitas game, but that did go on for 72 minutes. Maybe we're going to get there, who knows. It does look like the Baron pit is going to get swept out once again. wewillfailer in there. Svenskeren gets a little bit too close there. I thought they may well go for it, but they still might do it. Yes, they are, but the teleport's coming in as well, and that is going to be surely, yes, he will come around the side there. Chain of Corruption comes down, but Godbro is on top of them. Unstoppable Force lands perfectly, but they're dealing with it. Dexter's going to get caught out. Svenskeren's trying to deal with them. They're going to take wewillfailer very, very low, but Tabzz picks up one. Svenskeren goes down. Bjergsen in all sorts of trouble now. He has got wewillfailer, but taking the support out is not going to do a great deal. But he picks up the double kill. The Guardian Angel comes back out. Zorozero's going to get taken low. TheTess had going to use it. They do try and catch on towards it, and that is a 3-for-1 exchange for NiP, but it's not over yet. They're keeping Zorozero busy. The red buff on Deficio, would you believe it? They're going to try and collapse on towards him, but now they can turn towards the Baron.
Yeah, the thing is, Eve is trying to force down this inhibitor. Basically, both teams said, I want your AD carry. The difference is, Dexter was the only member of the Lemondogs to jump onto the TheTess. The rest of Ninjas in Pyjamas, they all jumped on Tabzz. They focused him down so incredibly quickly that they killed him before he could make an impact in that fight. And in the close quarters, in between the wall and the trees there, they simply just got chain CC'd. So the Lemondogs basically outpositioned themselves in that fight. A good play by Ninjas, but the question is, can they do it again to actually close this deficit, to close this gap?
And NiP realized they couldn't take the Baron down either. He was too strong. They needed Godbro there, but Godbro had, of course, gone back to defend off Dexter. And well, we are all square once again. It's nearly a 10,000 gold difference, but the team fights so far have not really shown. And when you are talking about 63,000, we're talking 5 item builds. A lot of Guardian Angels were popped there, and everybody making a mad dash straight back towards that Baron pit.
So basically what we're actually seeing right now is the evolution of the understanding of the game. When we watched the Copenhagen Wolves, now the Ninjas in Pyjamas at the beginning of the spring split, individually in the laning phase and 1v1, they did phenomenal. They were really good, but they struggled to close out games because they didn't fully understand at what power points they could force objectives and force fights. And that's what the Lemondogs are right now. They're in this massive power position, but they've just missed their window a few minutes ago to really force inhibitors and force fights. And we'll see whether or not they can learn it on the fly. Right now, vision advantage is with the Ninjas. They may decide to all in. There's no GA up. They are so tightly stacked up. The waves are also pushing for the Ninjas, so they're going to try to delay this for as long as possible and allow their minions to do the work for them.
See what they do. Ooh, they tried to get him. Bjergsen went very aggressive there. Tried to jump on towards Dexter, but wasn't really going to have any of it. Very brave stuff, like you say. Remember that all the Guardian Angels are down in the next fight. It was a big, big deal for them in the last one.
That was a straight-up taunt. That was a full-on, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Bjergsen put himself in a position where he said, I'm confident I can, call his bluff. They won't engage on me right now, but we'll see if we can bait it out. Right now, they're still just trying to keep this vision control. Stand United is up for Zorozero, and he's been able to push this wave all the way down to the bottom. They're going to get this tower for free with that massive number of minions. The question is, can Ninjas in Pyjamas either pick a fight or get there in time to save the inhib?
Zorozero will take the turret down, and like you mentioned, just going to back away from this one, playing it cautiously. May not take it this time around, but remember, everything is open, so Dexter could frankly just walk straight in there while they're trying to hang around this Baron buff area. The red buff will be taken away by Tabzz, so that's not going to be with the TheTess next time around for the fight. And again, Zorozero just keeps on causing problems in that bottom lane. Happy to fight it out because Godbro's teleport is not there. He has to stick with the team.
We may actually just see a pause time until the GAs are up. As I say that though, Bjergsen jumped on Tabzz. There's the Stand United.
Gone straight in and Unstoppable Force catches on towards him. Tabzz has been dropped. And now he's going to see the crescendo on towards them. Lemondogs are in all sorts of trouble. We do see the Shadow Dash coming in. That's going to be the Zhonya's Hourglass from Nukeduck. Will it be enough? wewillfailer's very low. Svenskeren's very low. He's going to slide away from Dexter, but I'm not too sure the damage is quite there for NiP. Godbro's going to get dropped, and it's Lemondogs that turned the fight around on its head. And it was a 4-for-2 fight. And honestly, they could just push through and take the base.
Simply put, the power of that Stand United was so incredibly strong that it took too much and too long to get Tabzz down. Yeah, they got their target, but the damage threats are for the rest of the team. Eve and Vlad are so strong and so powerful. With those death timers, the Lemondogs can close this game out. They might take down the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
They're going straight in. There's no reason they don't take down the Nexus turrets. There's not a great deal that Svenskeren can do other than knock them in the air. That's one turret going down. The second one will follow, and the Lemondogs will be taking down their first win against the Ninjas in Pyjamas. It is not the start NiP wanted, but it was definitely the start the Lemondogs said. They said they were going to finish top, and it's looking like they're starting off in the right way.
What a fantastic game from the Lemondogs from the very, very get-go. They pulled themselves an advantage, they held that advantage, and they closed the game out. A well-deserved victory to the new team, second new team to pick up a victory here in the summer splits.
Fantastic play from the Lemondogs as the group hug on the stage that unfortunately you're missing. Yeah. There they are. So they seem really happy with their win. And you know, they came in, they're very confident, the confidence of youth, I guess you could say. They're all 17, 18-year-olds, very, very young team. A lot of experience in between them there. We even get shot